WMXF Waynesville and iHeart radio station.
12 under, 4 shots ahead of reigning U.S. Amateur champion Sam Bennett, and 5 ahead of John Rahm. Tiger Woods is now 3 over with work to do if he hopes to make his 23rd straight Masters cut. Live second-round coverage right now on ESPN and ESPN+. Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving and 4 of his teammates will sit out tonight's game against the Bulls. ESPN's Brian Windhorst on what the Mavericks might offer Irving to stay in town.
I do think the Dallas Mavericks are prepared to offer Kyrie Irving a maximum salary, but I'm not so sure they're willing to offer him maximum years, which would be 5 years, $270 million.
Brian Windhorst on Key J and Max. Dallas needs to win its last 2 games and get help to get into the play-in tournament. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks is out for tonight's game against the Grizzlies with a sore right knee. Memphis will clinch the 2 seed in the West with a win in that game tonight.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, because today that's very, very important that you get into the chat with us, because it's basically, well, we'll steal one from old Rush Limbaugh here, God rest his soul, as it's a free-for-all Friday. Whatever you want to talk about, throw it in the chat. We will get to it here throughout the next 3 hours. It is a Masters Friday.
Basically, we have the Masters going on, where you got Brooks Koepka and then everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
The second place competitor right now is an amateur, and nothing else in the sports world is happening. Everybody else just went, you know what, we're taking the weekend off.
Yeah, everybody went, let's go home early and watch the Masters. It's beautiful weather down in Augusta. The rain hasn't started yet. It's not so great here in Asheville.
No, it's gross.
Oh, so disgusting. Brooks Koepka is your leader in the clubhouse. He's 12 under through 2 rounds at the Masters. You got Bennett, the amateur.
Sam Bennett.
They're in second place, 8 under. John Rahm, still 7 under from yesterday. He's gone par every hole so far. He's through 6 in today's action. Colin Morikawa has jumped up the leaderboard at 6 under. And Victor Hovland has dropped 1 shot in the last 2 holes, and he's down to 6 under as well.
It's going to be a great weekend of golf. I fully plan on both days of the weekend, laying on my couch and at 3 o'clock being serenaded by the dulcet tones of Jim Nantz. Hello, friends.
Lucky man. He's a lucky man, ladies and
Hello,
gentlemen.
friends.
I've got birthday this weekend. Happy early birthday to my twin boys. So it was almost 12 years ago today that Tank became a daddy and freaked out because he had 2 bundles of joy to take care of. It has been a very trying 12 years, but I'm trying to come to grips with the fact that I am only 366 days away from having 2 teenage boys, and that's frightening.
It should be.
Oh,
it
so
really should be. Solely because I know how I acted as a teenage boy, and you could have 2.
Indeed. So just like for the the next 2 hours and 55 minutes here on this here program, buckle in, folks, because it's going to be a hell of a ride. Yes, the Masters is underway. I am feeling just, I don't know if nostalgic's not the right word, because I'm not an old school golf fan. Like I just became a golf fan in the last 3 years.
Well,
I'm just so ready to embrace the tradition.
I'm feeling the opposite of nostalgic, because virtually every golfer that I grew up with has now been put out to pasture. I mean, look, Tiger
he ain't it.
He's not it.
He ain't it. He doesn't have it anymore. He knows it. He's probably not going to make the cut in this tournament. He's on the cut line at the moment at 3 over.
Yeah, and that cut line probably is going to come down a stroke if I had a wager. It's right on the cusp of doing it now.
It'll come down
a stroke.
Down
to 3.
Okay. All right.
It's right on the cusp of it now.
Depends on how the rest of the afternoon goes, because if you're watching, and yes, I have it on my phone right in front of me as we're doing the show here, it's starting to get windier down at Augusta. The dark clouds are starting to roll in. So you're going to have some late afternoon thunderstorm shower activity going on. I mean, it's April in Georgia. Of course, you're going to have some of that going on. But
well, I mean, tomorrow you will really you will doubt that it's April in Georgia. It's going to look like April in Delaware, because it's going to be cold and windy and rainy.
And it's going to be, and it's Easter weekend this weekend. We're doing a daily draft today, and I think this is the first time in 4 years that we've been doing this together that we're not doing an Easter candy daily draft. The daily draft today at the top of the third hour of the program. We're going to be doing our Masters picks for the weekend.
Oh, this is actually the anniversary of one of the great moments in the history of this show. With one Mr. Randy Houston.
Ah, yes. The Russell Stover's chocolates. We'll pull that out before the end of the program today.
Oh, it's such a great line. I've never laughed that hard on the air, and it's never been replaced.
Adam Black in the comments says, I don't have twins, but I've got 2 girls that are a couple of years from being teenagers. I'll trade your teenage boys for my teenage girls. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm all good.
Let me.
I don't need girl problems on top of the boy problems.
What he said. Yeah, trust me. What he said.
I'm so okay with not having that. Yesterday we talked about the best uniforms in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers. What's the deal? Because yesterday you're like, they're changing the uniforms, and now I'm seeing all these stories of, we're not changing the uniforms.
Well,
we're
it's
just
a
changing
color
the color
correction, and I've heard that there will be some small changes, nothing wholesale.
Well, the only change that I know that was mentioned in the story that I saw was that the full loop that you don't like around the shoulder, that's going away.
Good.
Because it restricts their movement or something crazy. Like, okay, so what? We're just getting a color update? No, that's boring.
The old color correction. That's fine.
Wear the blacks, wear the blues more often.
Just black helmet. It's really the only request I have.
Why do you hate the silver helmet so much?
I don't like silver, really, period. I don't like it in cars. I don't like it in... It's just one of those colors I look at. No. Black, white, all good. I'm not a fan of... I don't like gray. Gray looks like what's happening outside right now, and it just makes me sad.
Absolutely. They're showing right now on the ESPN feed all the major clouds rolling in at Augusta, so the weather's going to start showing up. And if it does, then yeah, maybe the cut line does get larger,
lower,
smaller, lower.
It'll go lower.
It's weird because you say lower and it has to go up a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's just weird to me. Anyway.
Because the cut line is on the leaderboard, and the cut line has to go lower. There you go.
Right.
That's where that term comes from.
I keep thinking of the number, and like the number's only going to get bigger. Anyhow, It's going to be a fun weekend. We'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening down at the Masters. And who knows? Who knows? The late afternoon guys, they may find themselves way behind Brooks Koepka because he's already ahead of the field by 4 strokes. And if the weather comes in, he could have given himself the biggest leg up in the history of the Masters. You never know how this is going to go down. NFL draft. You got some latest spicy takes for today?
Well,
you got some nuggets roaming around in your head?
I do find it funny that after I chucked out the Bryce Young to the Panthers thing yesterday, I've seen that in about 48 places today. Yeah, when Chris Mortensen is the one reporting this, you should probably put some credence to that.
Oh, breaking news. Weather delay at Augusta.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's it. To me, it always made the most sense, and that's just where we are. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that it is lying season, so you have to be really careful what you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one that makes a lot of sense. And it goes into the cognitive test that we talked about yesterday that Bryce Young just absolutely annihilated. And David Tepper he's really invested in that. After Joe Burrow crushed it, he thinks that is a really good tell of professional quarterbacks. And I go back to a thing I've said on Bryce Young 100 times. If your only knock on him is the size, we have seen smaller quarterbacks succeed in this league. Everything in this league is getting faster and smaller. I'm just not worried about it with Bryce Young. And I'm fully of the belief that had you not taken him at 1, I think you'd regret it.
It's quite a possibility.
Adam Black asked a very good question. Why would the team with number 1 play smoke games? Well, there is a reason for that, and I didn't really elaborate on this yesterday. So I guess there is a vague, faint possibility that Carolina has gotten wind of the same thing that I have heard, which is Houston would take Bryce Young at 2. They will not take C.J. Stroud. If Carolina's looking at that going, well, we really want C.J. Stroud, then we float the rumor. Maybe we recoup a little of the capital it took to get up to 1.
Who wants you to know?
Well, the Bryce Young thing that's not so much a who wants you to know it. There has been a report out of Carolina that they were really invested in this test. Well, then the results come out, and everybody is kind of reading the tea leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start seeing the betting market move, and you go, oh, well, something has changed.
But three-dimensional chess would be leaking out that you want the guy that Houston wants, and maybe they'll make a trade.
The only thing about that for me is, okay, let's say that's the case. You now open yourself up to, let's say you did do that. Houston moves up to 1, gets Bryce Young, and he turns into an all-pro. LMNO fired. Unless C.J. Stroud is every bit as good, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that you do that for...
Like if they have to be Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow.
It would pretty much have to be that way.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. Think about it this way. If go back to the year that you just referenced. If Cincinnati had been sitting at 1 and the Chargers had been at 2, you trade back with the Chargers. They get Joe Burrow. They go to a Super Bowl. Even though you have Justin Herbert,
mm-hmm.
LMNO fired. Everybody in the front office fired. No doubt in my mind. Second-year quarterback leads your team to the Super Bowl, and you bypassed him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, because you are unemployed.
But there again, if C.J. Stroud is anything but a really solid, really good quarterback, you're fired anyway. Because you traded up to
true.
1 to get him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gave up this haul, you gave up DJ Moore, you gave up the future to go get this quarterback that is not the guy.
Well, sitting at 1 cuts through all the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you take is who you came up here to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I've long been of the belief you would not have given that up to get to 1 with, well, there's a couple quarterbacks we really like. Whichever one. No, you went up there to get a guy.
If you know Houston is all in on Bryce Young, would it not be worth it to get some capital back and you drop back to 2 to get CJ?
Nope. because that, to me, is a risk. We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we have breaking news.
This is the Sportsocracy, and you're listening on ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Have your outdoors and running water too with Luxury Lou, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family owned and local, Luxury Lou Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Lou's are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty John.
Ew!
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Lou. Visit LuxuryLousRental.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine. Fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, where we have breaking news.
That is the worst thing you do. Just stop that. That little dance is awful. This is from Teron Davenport, who covers the Tennessee Titans for ESPN. The Tennessee Titans and Jeffrey Simmons have agreed in principle to a 4-year contract extension. That's actually a bigger story than people will make it out to be.
Okay, why?
Because there were a lot of rumors that they were shopping him. And I'm telling you right now, if they'd come off Jeffrey Simmons, you can stop the Lamar talk. You can stop a quarterback talk. It's blowing it up. Because this is one of the best interior linemen in the league. Now, I don't have the numbers yet. I'm gonna bet you it's a whole mess. But we don't have the number yet.
Okay. Last year, they signed Harold Landry to a new deal.
Yes.
He got 5 years, $87.5 million.
It's more than that per year.
No
Not
doubt.
even close.
That's what I'm saying. So how high could this figure go? Is this
4 years? He might be. It might be the richest deal for which I think would have to get to 92.
I was going to say 4 at 90.
Could be. It could be. I mean, and we should know in pretty short order.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were going to tap out on a guy that's as young as Jeffrey Simmons is, because I'd heard his name attached to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Baltimore Ravens, and a couple others. How old is Jeffrey Simmons?
28?
He is not even 26 years old.
Really?
He is 25 and a half.
Okay.
And so that was what I've heard the Lamar thing attached to Tennessee. I've heard it. I've heard they could be the team that moves up. And with all of the uncertainty that now is happening in the top three, that's obviously gotten louder because you've got a team in the Arizona Cardinals that does not want to pick at 3, especially if there's no Will Anderson, and there's not a whole lot of landing spots that make a ton of sense. Now you see a team in Tennessee that I have not fully understood the direction that they were going. Not bringing in a better weapon of some kind, no matter who your quarterback is, whether it's Ryan Tannehill, whether it's Malik Willis. I don't think it's going to be Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've been told, they have no intentions of paying him whatever ridiculous amount of money it is. And he would be a post-June 1 cut. Well, if you do the math, it's going to make sense. You just extended a deal with Jeffrey Simmons, which allows you – there's a restructure involved in that probably opened up some cap room, and maybe you see where I'm headed with this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Tennessee Titans are positioning themselves to make a move. I'm just not sure what that move is. And there's one that makes more sense than any other. And it involves a very angry quarterback in the state of Maryland, who shall not be named. Because his name is on conversation probation on this show.
Right. But what does that do to the rest of the team? Like, do you have the money to make that work?
Yes.
Can you pay Lamar Jackson and still put a team around him?
We've been over this enough times. The salary cap in the NFL, the numbers are made up and none of it matters. If they want to make it happen, they can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
The question for me, and look, I know we've said we're not going to talk about this, but to me, this is step one of an ultimate 4-step process that gets us to a conclusion here. If Tennessee's willing to come off 11, and Tennessee's willing to come off that one next year, I'm not sure Baltimore doesn't just go, have at it. Have at it. We won't stand in your way.
Mm-hmm.
We won't make you do the offer sheet thing. We'll just get out of the way.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I mean, I'm Jeffrey Simmons was my one big hang-up. You had to get this done because you've already seen so many of these guys get deals done.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, New York Jets, Quinnen Williams. Maybe give him a call, see what his plans are for Easter. Because every one of these guys that signs, I feel like he gets just a little bit more irritated.
Well, I mean, Eric DeCosta, the GM of the Baltimore Ravens, went on record to say that they might draft a quarterback, depending on how the board falls to them in the first round. To me, that's very telling.
Well, it's they're playing.
They are Seacrest out.
Well,
if there's a better option, we're
going
to take it.
At this point, they're playing full-on chess. Somebody has to be the onus to a movement here. And now, and maybe I'm crazy, but now I'm looking at the Tennessee defense, knowing that you have gotten this part done. The front seven's not bad. You still got Kevin Byard. Bill Buttigieg in our YouTube comment said, no left tackle, no center, and terrible guards. R.I.P. Lamar. I could make the argument that Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the NFL to put behind a mediocre offensive line. Because what I'm looking at right now, Ryan Tannehill, who isn't nearly as mobile as he was 3 years ago, and Malik Willis, who holds on to the ball in a range of time that is measured by calendars, not clocks, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I've said this all offseason long. This is one of the weirdest teams in the NFL because I cannot figure out where they're going. And this kind of, I'm not going to say it completely clears it up, but it makes it a little clearer for me. And it makes some of these things I hear back behind closed doors make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. There has been the rumor Baltimore possibly trading up in the first round to get a quarterback. I don't know that I see that coming. However, if there is a shakeup like we talked about yesterday where the quarterbacks start falling, then maybe they could.
If C.J. Stroud falls to 3, then it becomes more interesting to me. What would Tennessee be willing to give up to get to 3?
Mm-hmm.
Would they prioritize that over a ready-made solution in Lamar Jackson? How much homework have they done on C.J. Stroud? Because nobody thought he was going to be there. And so I guess that's where I'm headed with this, is if you watch things the way that I do, it would be very telling to me if a report comes out in the next, 72 hours, that now all of a sudden the Tennessee Titans want to talk to C.J. Stroud. That would be one of those little light bulb moments of, wait a minute. Are we just doing due diligence here, or are we planning something?
I think they already did, didn't they?
I don't think they've talked to Stroud. I can tell you quick because I've got a list.
Okay. I thought I saw that story yesterday. That C.J. Stroud had a meeting with him.
I did not know about it. He is not on their list that I have.
Okay.
So I didn't think he was. Will Levis is. They've talked to him. They've talked to a bunch of offensive linemen. But as of this point, they have not talked to C.J. Stroud. And that's okay. Do you see how my brain gets to this place really easily? Of everything I hear behind closed doors is Baltimore and Lamar are so far apart that I don't know that they could reunite even if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the money was right, I'm not sure if you can get past some of the things that have been done. Then DaCosta has that really weird press conference where he doesn't want to answer any question the way it's asked. And then you see him move like this, and you go, well, this is just a regular innocuous signing of a defensive tackle. But is it, though? Because I'm telling you, the Jeffrey Simmons talk was loud. Around the combine, it was really loud.
It should have been. Because he's a hell of a player.
But see, that's the point, is I couldn't figure out why Tennessee would come off a player that's this good this young.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the few draft hits you had. And now if you tap out on that, okay, now I 100% see where this is going. This is a teardown. You'll throw Malik Willis out there or Ryan Tannehill. I would say more likely the former than the latter. And this is going to end badly.
I don't believe it's a teardown. It's more of just a slow rebuild. We're retooling some things, we're getting a little younger, but we're not getting rid of the core. There's certain guys that you just don't get rid of. When you get a Jeffrey Simmons on your team, you don't let that guy go. So you give him whatever you have to make it work. Harold Landry is that to much a lesser extent.
He's still in the...
Yeah, but here's the thing. He wouldn't have got that deal before he had 16 sacks 2 years ago.
The difference in the way the league views this team right now is just so much different after a year. And I'm not sure in the building they feel the same way. And you look at Rand Carthon, who comes, look at the teams he's worked for. The 49ers, the Rams, the Falcons. What do two of those three teams prioritize? Hitting guys in later rounds, which Tennessee has been awful at.
Mm-hmm.
So if he comes in here, brings some of his own guys with him, you hit a couple draft picks, and you figure out the quarterback, is there any reason to believe that they can't be competitive with two of the worst teams in the NFL in their division?
Yeah. Chauncey Major says he can't wait for the Ravens to draft another quarterback to throw to Connor from the Waffle House and Tank.
I'm not sure you could have. I'm not sure Tank would be slightly more athletic than a couple of the receivers on that roster.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Still to come in this hour, we'll have another set of team draft needs. We're going through each and every team before the NFL draft on exactly what they need to pick up to improve themselves for this year. And first up, it's the Indianapolis Colts, who obviously have one of the top picks in the draft. A lot of talk about what they're going to do, but Jeremy believes that it's what is this, a Vontae Mack scenario?
Oh, there's no – to me, currently the Indianapolis Colts are the pit master of the NFL because there is so much smoke coming out of them. that you know what's underneath that is going to be just a delicacy.
And you believe that they have that little note that says Will Levis no matter what.
I do.
What else do they need in this draft? That's coming your way later on in the hour here on ESPN.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37, sunshine Sunday, and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need to travel, from passport photos to luggage, and now get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Plus 80-count Lysol wipes are just $1.99. In-store only. Offer ends 4/8. Exclusions apply. Get all set to jet at Staples.
When emergencies strike, firefighters are there to stand strong and answer the call. Start or continue a high-octane and rewarding career with the Hendersonville Fire Department. HFD offers competitive pay, fantastic benefits, and the foundation for a meaningful work-life balance. If you value integrity, service to your community, and working with a professional team, apply today. Now hiring full-time and part-time Hendersonville firefighter EMT positions. Unlock your best life at www.hvlnc.gov/jobs. Live here, serve here.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest-rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio!
In a developing story, we've learned that after decades of service to boys and girls everywhere, the Easter Bunny has stepped down. He has identified his replacement as a local rabbit who has been seen frequenting area Ingles markets in recent days. He has been stocking up on Ingles Easter candy, holiday hams, farm fresh eggs, and Easter lilies and balloons. And they also say that Easter magic indeed starts at Ingles.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
The sports world is always evolving. I mean, we know that the NFL lives at the top now. You had you've got record viewership for everything the NFL does these days. And it seems like viewership for every other sport is tanking.
See what he did there.
On Sunday, a new sport came into the fray.
Oh, good Lord.
On ESPN. Did you see it?
No.
It's the pickleball slam. The pickleball
you're talking
slam
with John McEnroe.
John McEnroe and Andre Agassi and Andy Roddick. They're doing
and Michael Chang. You forgot the fourth one.
And Michael Chang, yes. And they are doing these, this series of tournaments in pickleball. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 of them. Here's the thing. On Sunday, the viewership, would you like to take a guess at what ESPN pulled for this 2.5-hour competition?
18 people.
It's way more than that.
118 people.
It's way more than that.
No idea.
796,000 people was the peak of the viewership for this.
So 750,000 more than have watched Bomani Jones in the last 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Boom! Violence today. I'm telling you.
That rating for Sunday beat out 13 Major League Baseball games, 7 NBA games, and 5 of the NHL matchups.
But why?
I don't know.
But what? Okay, so I'm trying to wrap my brain around what you just said. So you got 4 tennis players.
Yes.
That have a slam to play a sport that one of them has made fun of relentlessly and said it requires no athleticism whatsoever. And 790,000 people watch that.
Yep.
That's one of those things like cornhole. Okay, I get why you play it. It's fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't in any universe understand why you watch it.
I don't either. I don't know what the allure is to pickleball. I mean, it's either really tiny tennis or it's great big ping pong. Right?
I mean, I feel like the pickleball purists are going to gristle at both of those things.
I mean, maybe they will. We should call David Zach. We should call Asheville Police Chief David Zach. He's a pickleball player.
He is. I also think that you're going to kind of lose the ping pong thing because you don't stand on the table in ping pong.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. It's a great big one. Like if it was a really big ping pong.
Yeah, but you're on that'd be like a really big table and you'd have to be standing on it. You don't.
If they put a pickleball court on a platform, you would play on it. I guarantee
you. Patrick Holt said it's tiny tennis, and it's the fastest growing sport in the USA.
It is.
I get that. I understand why people play it. On the whole, we don't watch a lot of tennis. So why are we watching really little tennis?
Mm-hmm.
What people choose to put their eyes to,
I mean,
mystifies me.
The question to me becomes if the success of this, celebrity pickleball slam that has these names that will that get people interested in the actual, and yes, there is an actual professional pickleball league. Actually, I think there are 2 of them, and they compete with each other right now. But will people be watching that soon?
Yeah, I don't fully get it. Personally, I would rather watch an epic poetry slam with John McEnroe than that. But another thing I don't understand why people are watching NBA games as we get closer to the end of the season. Would you like to take a guess at anyone not named Luka Doncic playing for the Dallas Mavericks tonight?
Dwight Powell.
That is one.
Yeah! End of message, repeat the line.
I was about to say, you're going to greatly struggle to name me another. Now, the saddest part of that.
Rashad McCants.
No. The saddest part of that is that they have to win this game to stay in the playoff hunt. 5 of their guys sitting out, including Kyrie Irving. I tried my best to tell you. But one of the players they will have suiting up tonight is former North Carolina Tar Heel Reggie Bullock.
See, I knew there was a Tar Heel.
If you watched him for any period of time at Carolina, it would probably shock you to know that they're playing him at power forward right now. But that's not actually why I'm bringing this up.
I think Dallas always has a Tar Heel.
So Reggie Bullock and I are vaguely the same age. We're within a couple years of each other.
Okay.
And we came up through the ranks playing AAU about the same time. So I don't know him personally. I have been in the same room with him. And today I have a story that makes me feel really bad about my life.
Okay.
Reggie Bullock has never averaged more than 12 points a game in the NBA. Pretty much the definition of a journeyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just purchased a 5-square-acre private island in Belize.
Interesting.
His plan is to build a 4,000-square-foot home on the island for himself and then 8 rentable villas. So apparently what's different about he paid $2 million. Bought his own island. It's out there all by itself.
Right.
So there are a lot. I went way down a rabbit hole here. Eddie Fox and I actually spent about 10 minutes going, well, I mean, the mortgage on that's only $16,000. Maybe we'll buy two. Just stop that. But a lot of those don't have power. I have absolutely no idea, but somehow he found an island that had all of the infrastructure. So basically he has his own little private island.
So it did. So it does have hooked up water and all that.
It does.
Okay.
And he has named it Bullock Island. He really laid out for the name there. But so the reason that I want to tell the story is because I want to ask a question.
Okay.
And I'm really curious of your answer because I can tell you mine definitively. If money was no issue, would you live on your own little private island far away from everything else?
No.
For $2 million?
No, for $2 million?
I don't know that I believe you.
What, that I had to pay $2 million or somebody was going to give me an extra $2 million?
I said money was no issue. Would you by choice live on your own island?
Hell no.
I don't think I believe. You're so hermitive that I think you could get by with this.
I am to a point. The only reason I'm hermitive is because I don't have money. And if I had money to spend, I would probably spend it. The reason I'm so cheap is because I have lived hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck my entire life. And so when it goes, I don't know if I can really afford that $3 right now. But if money's no object, then I have no problems that I will be buying a house in the middle of town and everybody can come over for a party. I don't... That's why the Travis Kelce thing, when I told the Travis Kelce story about him having the big, the big concert during draft weekend, like that's always been like one of my dreams. Like people make up their, what if I won the Powerball one day? I've got a whole plan. I got a whole plan to take care of everyone I know, everyone that's near and dear to me, charities that I love. I'm going to buy homes and I am just going to retire and live off the money.
I would die in 16 days.
With all of the alcohol that you could consume.
I just did the very primitive math. I would be dead in less than half a month.
Jeremy's going to do the thing that Homer Simpson did when he visited the Duff plant and fell into the vat. I'm going to have to drink my way out.
Drink my way out of here.
There is no risk there. You will not see me go down that path of, oh God, Tank got money and his life went in the crapper.
Oh mine wouldn't go in the crapper. It would be a glorious.
Oh, but it would go down in flames.
Oh, it would be a glorious fortnight. And then the last couple days, probably not aging particularly well. Looking a little worse for the wear.
Yeah, no, I would not.
That's why I don't play Powerball.
I would not live by myself on an island. Now, are there rules on the island? Like, is this like in international waters? No.
Well, I mean, you can't
you
take
can do
people
crimes.
You
can do
cannot
crimes
take
on
people
your
out there
island?
and do crimes.
No, can I do crimes on my island? Then maybe that's
the swing vote for you.
I don't know. If anything goes, that's a moneymaker right there. Hey, I've got a private island.
So,
oh wait, somebody did that. And it had a whole lot of people wrapped up into it. He wound up in. Never mind. Not going down that path.
Yeah, Tank just went a full. I bought an island and now I hunt people on it. There's two kinds of people in this
You
world.
never know.
People
You
that would
never
hunt
know.
people and people that won't. And I now know that you are in the former.
What are you, a cop? This is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and we've got another set of team needs to talk about for the 2023 NFL Draft coming up at the end of this month. Don't forget, you can watch each and every pick covered live here in the Sportsocracy on YouTube exclusively, and we will be live all 3 days of the draft.
And this might be the most interesting team in the NFL to me.
The Indianapolis Colts. What do they need? We'll talk about it next.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Everyone loves TV Dad.
On the next TV Dad, presented by Progressive, TV Dad meets the prom date.
So you're here to take my daughter out, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm only gonna say this once. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say take care of my little girl or something.
She's a kickboxer. She could take care of herself.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Natalia, solid dismount, but that little pause is a deduction.
Top tumblers hope to stick the landing with Coach Jasmine.
That aerial sequence still needs work.
She needs more certified athletic trainers to find her balance.
Focus. I'm going to need you for the all-around. Wait, who's spotting the vault?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville and, of course, seen on YouTube. It is time to talk about more draft needs. Draft's coming up at the end of the month, and the Indianapolis Colts have the number 4 overall pick. I mean, it's a quarterback. We know that.
Yes, because they're not going into the season with Sam Ehlinger or Gardner Minshew.
The question is, what quarterback is that? They've been tied to Anthony Richardson. They've been tied to Will Levis basically since the start. I think that was the first that Flostradamus reported to us that they were all in on Will Levis.
Everything that I have ever heard from anyone I trust is that they are all in on Will Levis. Because he is the one that Shane Steichen views as Jalen Hurts, not Anthony Richardson. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's wrong.
Okay.
If that's what you're wanting to do, I'm not sure that you're not better off with Will Levis. Now, this is coming from a guy that has Anthony Richardson at 152 on his big board. So maybe I'm not completely I love Will Levis. I have the entire time. There are 3 quarterbacks in this class I love. I got Bryce Young at 1. I got C.J. Stroud at 2. I got Will Levis at 3. And Anthony Richardson is a distant 4. I think Anthony Richardson's closer to Hendon Hooker than he is to any of the other 3 I just said.
Okay. And that's a bad thing, right?
Considering we're talking about taking both of those 2 in the first round, yes, that's not a good thing. One comes out of a gimmicky offense, and the other never looked like an NFL quarterback. But he runs fast. Awesome. Yeah, because historically, that's worked great. Jake Locker's on line 1. Yeah, he was real fast too, and built like a fullback. Unfortunately, he couldn't, complete a pass. Couldn't do that. It was just foreign to him. Same thing with Anthony Richardson. But I'm looking at this team, and Indy and Tennessee, to me, are in kind of the same boat. I feel like you're better than the public narrative has become.
Okay.
Last year went so badly that I feel like a lot of people forget there's a lot of talent on this team. And if you have an even competent quarterback and your line even stays halfway healthy, you're going to be better. Now, how much better? I don't really know. I think Jacksonville's passed you comfortably. I think Houston is comfortably behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's you and Tennessee, and I don't really know which one is better.
I have seen way more prognosticators than I thought say that they think the Indianapolis Colts will be the worst team in the NFL this year.
And to me, that's stupid.
And I would say the same thing, but I'd also thought there was no way that they would be 4-12 last year.
Well, they were also killed and had no quarterback. The Matt Ryan thing was an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And then you fractured part of the front office firing Frank Reich because, frankly, it wasn't his fault. And I think he got a raw deal. And then you bring in an analyst to be your coach. Yeah, you were a disaster. But I feel like you hired a good coach. Yes, he's a first-time coach, so I don't know how he will be as the head guy. But, I've seen him cobble together an offense with a quarterback that I wasn't wild about. He really did a good job with Jalen Hurts and between him and Brian Johnson. And I don't see a reason he can't do that again with Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
People forget how mobile this kid is. They also seem to forget how much draft capital Indy has wrapped up in this offensive line. I've heard more than one person say they have the worst offensive line in the league.
Oh, my.
And to me, that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. This team's good in the trenches on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the outside that it bothers me. And now I have always lived by the belief the closer to the ball, the more important it is. Quarterback, trenches, and then I can figure out everything that linebackers and corners. Most of what I would knock Indy for is further away from the ball. What that makes me think is that you're not actually as far away as last year would lead you to believe. Because there is a path that you implement an offense that looked much like what Philadelphia did last year. And you've got Jonathan Taylor playing running back.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to forget after just a year, he was the best running back in the NFL, and it was not close.
But you have to have a weapon. You have to have a number one guy.
Well, they have a number one guy. The problem is they don't have a number two guy.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that whole Michael Pittman as a number one.
Not 100% sure I understand why.
I don't know.
The best quarterback he's had in his NFL life was Matt Ryan. Or Carson Wentz for 1 3-game stretch.
Right.
Yeah, you give him an actual legitimate quarterback in this league and just sit back and watch.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe so. I always thought he would be a good supplemental piece, and that's what I think he is. Like, if Indianapolis could pull a deal for DeAndre Hopkins to bring in Will Levis, to give him that number one, make Michael Pittman the 2, to me that makes this team stronger.
And see, to me, I'm not sure I want to go that route. I like Alec Pierce. He did not have a particularly good rookie year. We knew he was a little bit raw, but between the body and the size, all of that's fine. I believe Pittman's a 1. I don't think you have anybody that really takes the attention off of him.
No.
Which is what I think subjects people like you to say that about him, because he's not a burner. He's not crazy fast. He's just big and physical and really talented and a good route runner and phenomenal in the red zone. That's exactly what I want to develop a young quarterback. So I think you're set there. I would love a trustable piece. I know you signed Isaiah McKenzie. I don't really care because he's a 4 in the NFL. Josh Downs is the guy I can't get away from and go, how much differently would I look at that offense with him in the slot? You got Pierce on the other side. Now you got 2 matchup nightmares on the outside because both of your receivers are really big.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierce is fast enough that I think it makes up for some of the lack of physicality. And then I've just got Josh Downs, and I got Jelani Woods that's a matchup nightmare. And Mo Alley Cox, who's good for 3 really good games a year and completely irrelevant for the other 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think you're that far off.
I don't either. A couple of good draft picks, and you could be right back in the thick of things. You get a quarterback, you get a wide receiver, and you get a corner.
And see, the problem is that with where they're sitting right now, I'm not so sure you can get all 3 of those things in the same draft. I don't love that you tapped out on Stephon Gilmore. I know he's an older guy. I'm well aware of it. He's also the best corner on this team, and it wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I see Indianapolis. I think you're going to get the quarterback at 4. I think you're going to get that. I can't definitively tell you it's going to be Josh Downs. It could be Jalen Hyatt. There are a few guys that fit into that profile with a 36th pick. Then you don't pick again until 80, 81, whatever. The Dolphins pick counts. It doesn't count. I don't care anymore. And at 80, I don't see an impact corner in the first year coming there. And my fear is that that's going to put a lot of strain on the rookie, no matter who it is, because you're going to have to kind of shoot out. I love the front 7 for Indianapolis, but when you get to the outsides, it is ugh. And I think that's going to be a problem. So those are my 3 biggest needs for Indianapolis: quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback.
Yep.
Later on, I would like to get another developmental tackle because last year you got absolutely killed injury-wise, and it really showed between Bernard Raymond. I think he will be better this year. I can't tell you he's a no-doubt left tackle. I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him coming out last year, but just didn't see enough of what I wanted to see last year to definitively say you're good there.
Just curious here before we take a break here at the top of the hour for Sports Center. Staying on the topic of the Indianapolis Colts and their corner situation, is there a corner that's still on the market in free agency that they could get that'd be willing to come in and, well, be that Patrick Peterson replacement?
No.
Or, Stephon Gilmore replacement.
Not really. Corner at this point is completely picked over. There might be somebody you could make a deal on, but I don't know who it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis strikes me as the team that is going to really closely watch guys that get cut in the preseason and hope they find a gem because their corners are awful.
Yep. Oh, you got Kenny Moore. End of message. Repeat the line.
And he wasn't good last year as the 2. And now you're telling me he's going to go out there as the no-doubt 1? That terrifies me.
He's not a 1. He's not a what?
He is on this team.
2 years ago, he was one of the best slot corners in the entire league.
Yeah, he's the best corner on this team by quite a bit.
Sure. That's why it's a great big position of need in the NFL draft. You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37, sunshine Sunday, and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by KFC. $5 Mac Bowls are back. That's right, folks. Kentucky Fried Chicken's $5 mac and cheese bowls have returned, now featuring new 100% white meat chicken nuggets in KFC's hand-breaded original recipe. Available in classic or spicy. That's finger-licking good.
Imagine transforming your outdoor space into a stylish and functional area for relaxation and entertainment. Imagine superior durability and longevity, ensuring that your investment lasts for years to come. Imagine whatever you'd like. Decorators Composite Decking, Railing, Balusters, and Accessories can help you create a deck that reflects your personal style and provides an inviting space for you and your loved ones to gather. Make your vision a reality. To learn more, visit Decorators.com. That's Decorators with a K.
If your company needs to spring into efficient hiring, then check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Day 2 at the Masters. Brooks Koepka is the leader at 12 under after a 67 today. 23-year-old amateur Sam Bennett, who's in his 5th year at Texas A&M, is at 8 under along with John Rahm, 4 shots back. Live coverage right now on ESPN and ESPN+. The LSU women's basketball team will accept an invite to the White House, and Tigers captain Angel Reese will attend after saying earlier this week the Tigers should celebrate with the Obamas instead.
Yes, I'm a team player. I mean, it would look crazy for me not to be there, for one. And then for two, I mean, going back home to the DMV, you don't really get those chances. You don't get those chances often. So being able to go back with the team and just following along with my coach, I think they have the best interest in me.
Angel Reese on KJ and Max. ESPN has learned the Titans will sign defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons to a 4-year extension that could be worth up to $94 million. And Mets right-hander Justin Verlander says he could be back on the mound before the end of April.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, and the Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You want to drop in a topic for the afternoon, we will tap dance and get to it. We are here to serve you. We are the Democratic Republic of Sports, and we've already made one change to the plans today because of fan demand. Coming up in the later on in the program, we'll get to the team draft needs for the New Orleans Saints. We got so many Saints fans that are watching on the YouTube stream, and we like to give the people what they want.
Absolutely, and we are Draftmas Central, and there is a narrative. I have now seen this everywhere, and it's incredibly stupid to me.
Okay.
That Hendon Hooker's going in the first round.
I have seen that as well.
It is becoming more and more common, and I cannot for the life of me explain to you why. He was good at Tennessee last year.
Yes.
You do realize that none of that translates to the NFL. None of it.
Why?
Because that Tennessee offense is, let's see, how do I explain this nicely? That would be like saying because you can host a radio show that you would be qualified to sing lead soprano. Okay, they both involve a voice,
right?
But it's a drastically different voice. And the more we go down this rabbit hole, and we touched on this when we talked about quarterbacks. Every single time we've ever had 5, I'm not going to say no doubt first rounders, but 5 guys that got first round hype.
Yep.
The 5th one has always been a disaster. Always. Lamar Jackson is the one exception to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would –
And the fourth one was the disaster in that draft.
Yeah, because that was Josh Rosen.
Right.
We are so – especially now. Teams are so obsessed with getting a quarterback on a rookie deal because it gives you so much more with how the salary cap is exploding and going up by $20-some-odd million a year. It gives you so much ability to build a roster because you can go get those high-level guys, the DeAndre Hopkins who you mentioned earlier, because that's a luxury. You're paying your starting quarterback $7 million. That doesn't mean you can just blindly go into this and go, well, I've got to get a quarterback. And I'm going to go a step further. If the Minnesota Vikings take Hendon Hooker at 23, you may have to call a paramedic to revive me because I will laugh until I probably borderline croak. There's been a report out of Minnesota that they are intrigued by the idea of having a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. Hendon Hooker is not a first-round quarterback. I do not know a soul that thinks he is. He's also 25 years old. Okay, so at the end of his rookie deal, he's 30.
Did you ever
That's 2 years younger than Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever think of him as a first-round quarterback?
I didn't have a draftable grade on him until last year.
Right, but throughout the season, as he was throwing up big numbers at Tennessee, and he was hitting all three of his future professional wide receivers, did you never think that Hendon Hooker could be?
I didn't say he didn't have a spot in the league. I said he's not a first-round quarterback. He's not a first-round quarterback. He's not even close.
Okay.
With Anthony Richardson, I get it because you're drafting the physicality and all of those things. You're not getting that with Hendon Hooker. First of all, he's not all that quick anyway. He was about a 4.8 guy before the ACL. What do you think he is now?
Mm-hmm.
The arm's fine. I think he's got a really nice deep ball. But go back and watch the tape. There were times he had all day long. Or Jalen Hyatt is just screaming behind the defense.
Right.
That's a busted coverage throw. I mean, it's great that you can make it, but that doesn't scream NFL quarterback to me.
When you throw 5 touchdown passes against the Alabama Crimson Tide, there are some, shockingly enough, that feel like that's proof that you can do it. You can play at the next level.
And here's what I think is happening. And I've seen this happen one time before, and I'm not going to lie, I got duped by it. And maybe that's why I don't feel like I'm railing on Hendon Hooker. I think he has a spot in the league. I like him with the Seattle Seahawks, but I want that in the third round or even later if at all possible.
I don't think that'll be possible.
It's not, but I if it's higher than that, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this happen before. He gets into the meeting rooms. Every person I've ever known that's been around him has said he is the nicest kid, high character, really smart. You get him on the dry erase board, and he's just doing all of the things that make you fall in love with him. Every time I see a quarterback have some meteoric rise like this through the process, instantaneously out. I can't name you one that this has ever worked.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I saw a rise like this, Baker Mayfield was one of them. Because for whatever reason, John Dorsey just thought he was, he's got the attitude of Brett Favre, and he's going to be our gunslinger.
Gunslinger mentality.
The other was E.J. Manuel.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that met him absolutely loved him. High character, high IQ, really knows what he's talking about when he gets in the room.
That is a great example.
Because that's what happened. He was a second-round guy, and then all of a sudden Buffalo fell in love with him and took him at 15.
Right, but what I saw with him when he was at Florida State, as opposed to what we see this year with Hendon Hooker, I think there's some similarities.
Well, the difference is that you were at least getting not an NFL offense, but at least a semblance of it. What Josh Heupel is doing has absolutely no relevancy to the NFL. None. And I'll give you an example. and I'm going to tie this into something because I guarantee you when I say this, people are going to go, oh, wait. When Mike Leach was at Texas Tech, you run this air raid offense where I have 5 guys that are just faster than anything you have. And somewhere there's going to be a mismatch. And this kid has to find it. That's how Pat Mahomes got pushed down to 10. In terms of raw arm talent and all of the things that you want out of a quarterback, I've told you this 100 times. There were 3 teams in the top 10 that loved him, but they were scared to death they were going to get killed for taking a Texas Tech air raid quarterback in the top 10. Well, Kansas City, they reaped the benefits of teams not want to pull the trigger on that. One of them was my New York Jets. I still can't say that out loud without being really sad. That is one example where this went really well. But if you watch the tape, you could at least see the raw where this kid's got the talent to do that. And I'm not saying Hendon Hooker's not talented. He ain't getting any better. 25 years old, name me a player that's coming to the NFL and all of a sudden got better. It doesn't exist.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah, because we never saw him because he was bagging groceries. That's not what you're getting here. And I keep hearing this. It's getting louder, and this has mistake written all over it. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee fans, I'm sure you love him. He gave you a great year on Rocky Top. He is not a first-round NFL quarterback.
Yep. The Baltimore Ravens have said they could take a quarterback in the first round of the draft if the right one should fall in their laps.
Yeah, 22. And I feel like what
Hendon Hooker might be shoehorned into that.
Well, I mean, you already have Hendon Hooker. I mean, I would say one of the closest comps in the NFL to him would be Tyler Huntley, and he's got a better arm.
Okay.
Because that's what I've always heard out of Baltimore is he's so sharp and he knows the offense so well, but he doesn't have the kind of deep ball arm that Hooker does.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched this so many times, and I know it never works out. The chances of there being 5 high-level quarterbacks in a class are almost non-existent. I mean, I've done the analytics on this. For every 5 first-round quarterbacks, one of them is going to be a grand slam. 2 of them will be stand-up doubles. 1 of them is a strikeout while trying to bunt. And the 5th one never even gets to the plate.
Right.
Because 2 of them are disasters. And I mean, it's possible that this class is in the same boat.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a miss on Stroud or Young. So long as they don't – I mean, I guess Bryce Young could go to Houston and just get annihilated. Yeah. But even then, I don't think in that offense it's going to be that big of a deal. But then you have the other 3, Levis, now Hendon Hooker, and Anthony Richardson. There are probably 2 high-end busts coming out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Hooker's the one I would bet on. But because I just know what he is. This is very simple supply and demand. The supply ain't there. And why Minnesota keeps getting attached to this, I have absolutely no idea.
Because they're going to move on from Kirk Cousins at some point.
Okay, at some point.
Right. And here's the thing. So another team in your own damn division already did this once, right? And it's been the worst 4 years of uncertainty surrounding that team.
Mm-hmm.
This is Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
They went and got Jordan Love way too early. I'm not saying it's way too early to move on from Kirk Cousins, but
I'm saying it's way too early to move on from Kirk Cousins.
Well, I mean, I believe that's debatable. You can see the positives on either side.
For the 5th best quarterback in the draft class. I'll say the exact same thing I said about Green Bay when they did it.
I'm just saying, if Minnesota wants to move on, you can understand why they would want to. Not necessarily for Hendon Hooker, but they want to start the ball rolling.
I don't get why you want to do that anyway. And here's the thing. I'm looking at next year, and yes, I'm projecting. I'm a draft guy. It's what I do. If you're looking up and down the NFL, there's not going to be a lot of teams that need quarterbacks next year. So let's say I'm right on Caleb Williams and Drake May. How many teams are even competitive for that? Let's say the top of the draft goes the way we thought it would the whole time, not where we are at this second. And you get the Texans, the Colts, the Panthers, and somebody else that takes a quarterback. Who needs one a year from now? I mean, go across the entire league. Who needs one a year from now?
You'd have the Falcons. You'd have the Bucks.
I don't know that you'd have the Falcons. You might.
I feel pretty confident.
Falcons and the Bucs
it's not
are
Desmond Ridder.
Falcons and the Bucs are two that would not have high-level investment in a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams would have one that's getting older. The Bears, if they're ready to move on from Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers, if the Jordan Love thing has just gone horribly, terribly awful.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, if the Sam Howell thing's gone terribly. Do you realize there's not a team in the AFC that would be ready to move on from a quarterback? Not one.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that 3 of the 5 teams I just said are not picking in the top 10. So all you got to do is go make a move on an actual quarterback. Here you shoehorn one in, and you're stuck with Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless there is some specific thing that you're seeing that fits in your offense, and that's why people are passing on it, there's a reason that 22 teams will look at this kid and go, nope. Because he's not a high-level quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're desperate for one, apparently, because every analyst says, well, there's a possibility Hendon Hooker slides into the back end of the first round. Stop.
Could it be Baltimore? Could it be Minnesota? He's already met this week. Hendon Hooker has with the New Orleans Saints and the Tennessee Titans. He also has a visit scheduled with the Green Bay Packers this week.
And I'll be honest with you. If the New Orleans Saints have a pick at the top of the second round, I can't remember. I want to say it's 40. New Orleans takes him there, I have no problem. You put him behind a 30-some-odd-year-old Derek Carr, knowing that deal probably lasts 2-3 years. He's a high-level backup. If anything ever happens, you're in good shape. I don't love it. I don't love having that kind of capital in a backup quarterback. But I'm not going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you use a 5th-year option on a quarterback like this that will be 30 years old heading into the season of that option.
Right.
That's a level of dumb that I can't wrap my head around. And it's really not a shot at the kid.
Mm-hmm. Hooker's got 13 total visits set up with NFL teams. He is outside of what we believe to be the first-round caliber quarterbacks, but it will not shock me to see him go high-ish in round 2.
If I had to bet on a player that ends up getting overdrafted right now, it's probably Hendon Hooker.
Not Anthony Richardson.
The Anthony Richardson thing I at least get because he's something that we have never seen before. He is Cam Newton size with Lamar Jackson speed. I've never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm looking at the way that the league is evolving and these quarterbacks that are rushing 12, 14, 16 times a week. I understand how somebody could fall in love with Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to do it because he can't complete passes consistently. I don't get what you're seeing with Hendon Hooker. And I've said this about a lot of quarterbacks over the years. I said this about Brandon Weeden. The year that Weeden came out and Cleveland took him in the first round, I told anybody that would listen, and I mean, I was young, this is before I even started covering the draft, anybody that takes him in the first 3 rounds is a moron. Because that kid is 7 years older than everybody who's playing. Oh, but he looked so good. Of course he did. He was a grown man playing against children. And with Hooker, there's a little bit of that and a lot of you played in a gimmicky offense. And I don't get it. And I have a funny feeling from everything I hear, there is going to be a stupid team that does this at the end of the first round.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing near Weaverville, future 26 eastbound near US 2570 due to an accident. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Haywood County, 40 eastbound slow after Fines Creek Road and US 276. 40 eastbound then crawling between exit 27 and NC 215 due to an accident. The left lane is blocked. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound approaching Overlook Road delays. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Everyone loves TV Dad.
On the next TV Dad, presented by Progressive, TV Dad meets the prom date.
So you're here to take my daughter out, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm only gonna say this once. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say take care of my little girl or something.
She's a kickboxer. She could take care of herself.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, a Friday edition. The play is back underway down at the Masters in Augusta, Georgia.
And don't look now, but John Rahm is lurking.
John Rahm has dropped, has it dropped 2 shots? Has gained 2 shots? How do you say that when he's done better?
I mean, he's gained 2 shots on the leader.
Gained 2 shots on the leader. Okay, maybe that's the way I should say that. I always get confused by golf. I'm still learning at this point. He's 9 under for the tournament through 9 holes in the second round. Already in the clubhouse with the lead is Brooks Koepka, 12 under par for the tournament. You still have Sam Bennett, the amateur, down there at third place right now, 8 under par. He is in the clubhouse. His round is over. It's got to be one of the best showings of all time for an amateur in the Masters debut.
Well, there have been – I don't remember one ever being this high. I can't tell you that it's never happened, but I don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there have been some that had really good showings and finished – I don't remember the highest that I'll have to Google that in the break. There's a few in my head, but I don't remember where they finished. Because there have been some that were – they were good through 2 days and then shot an 84 on Saturday. So this is setting up to be really interesting over the weekend for one very specific reason. Because you could have Captain PGA against Captain Liv. Brooks Koepka, the LIV guy, against John Rahm, he hasn't been really outspoken about this, but he's been very dedicated to the PGA. And to me, that would be just epically good. I mean, you're the casual fan.
It's a hell of a storyline.
Would it not get your eyeballs?
I mean, it's going to get my eyeballs anyway. I'm at that point And actually, I don't know that this stirs the pot for anybody.
It does for me.
And maybe it does. This is what I think this is what Liv struck out to do, was to obviously make a rival to the PGA, but also show that they can compete with the PGA golfers, or with the PGA Tour golfers, with their own guys. Now, they've gone out and gotten the best in the world, but so far we haven't really had this yet. You know, you had what was it, last year at the Open Championship? It was, help me out, what's the mullet guy's name?
Cameron Smith.
Cameron Smith ended up winning, and then he goes to LIV afterward. But you haven't had that yet, that moment
Not with a
where
guy
it's
that's
like,
actively on
hey,
the tour.
here's our live golfer, and now he's competing for a championship. There is that storyline, but I think the live thing has gone so horribly.
Well, the tournament's just irrelevant. Nobody's watching it.
Right.
But I do feel like this is what I've had a weird suspicion that this is how this was going to go for quite some time, and it is the patent flaw with live golf. The average fan sees Brooks Koepka, who is no longer on the PGA Tour, leading Augusta going into Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
John Rahm's second, or Sam Bennett, the amateur, whoever it is. And you have this shootout between a live guy and a PGA Tour guy. What does that get you to do? Get you to watch the PGA Tour event.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work backwards. You don't watch this and see Brooks Koepka and go, oh, I guess that means live is fantastic. No, it's a guy that got $1 bajillion, has bad knees, said it in a documentary that the PGA paid for,
mm-hmm.
which, by the way, if you haven't watched it, it's phenomenal.
It is very good. Full swing on Netflix.
Oh, it's phenomenal. If you're looking for something to binge watch tonight going into the weekend, I highly recommend it. And so that benefits who? It's the PGA. There are a couple people that are in sports in this area that I've had this very same conversation with, because they would rail on the live thing, and I'm like, you realize this is good for you, right? This is good for your side of the argument. I never understood I understood the problem with it. I didn't understand the problem with there being another tour. There were a lot of people that had, regardless of where their money's coming from, and that's just not what we talk about on the show, I never had an issue with, they've branched out on their own, because it has led to some changes on the PGA Tour that are good for these guys. And that very well could be the long-lasting legacy of live. That, and much like the XFL, you spent $1 bajillion and it didn't do squat. But to me, this is really entertaining. And Koepka has been phenomenal over the first two rounds.
That he has. Koepka's, like I said, in the clubhouse with the lead, 12 under par. By the way, the highest finish ever at a Masters for an amateur was second. You have to go back to 1956.
That was
when
what I was
Ken
afraid
Venturi finished second in the event. He was 24 years old at the time. He actually had the lead going into the final round, but then, and he had a 4-stroke lead in the final round, but then ended up finishing in second place. And so there's your answer. Second place is the best that an amateur has ever done at the Masters.
Ryan Moore. That was the one I was trying to remember. He was 13th back in 2005. And obviously Jack Nicklaus was 7th in 1961.
Mm-hmm. Sam Bennett, amateur golfer, number 3 right now on the Masters leaderboard. Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Jason Day, and Sam Burns.
Love Sam Burns.
Are the rest of your leaderboard at the moment. Jason Day, you had warned me that the downfall is coming for him.
Oh, and I very easily could see it being tomorrow. Look, the talent's always been there. He had kind of a David Duval thing of, hey, look, I'm really good, and
mm-hmm. Well, he was the runner-up his first year playing in the Masters, and then he hasn't really contended since. I think there was another year that he was in the top 5 or top 10.
Oh, he was the best golfer
like
in the world for 2 years. And then it all came tumbling after.
Right. Well, he was 9 under for the tournament through 14 today, and he finished his round 5 under. So maybe the turn has come for him.
He has a bad back. So once those, the knee, the back, or the hips, once those start going for you as a golfer, you can have a good round, but it doesn't tend to hold up.
Yeah.
And Adam Black in our YouTube comment said, Captain PGA is missing the cut. That would be Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, Rory did not have a good weekend or a good 2 rounds.
Rory is the great Sasquatch of the PGA. Oh, he's so good. Does he ever win, though? Like, when was the last time Rory's leading going into Sunday? And then he actually, oh, wait, that's because he never does.
Mm-hmm.
I play DraftKings in every major. I have not had Rory McIlroy in a major in 7 years. And every single time people fall for it. And I'm not going to lie, I looked at it this time.
Because eventually it's going to happen, right? Eventually he's going to get the career Grand Slam. I mean, you assume he's that good of a golfer at some point. I don't care if it comes 15 years from now. He gets into the Masters and he wins one. I don't know. Is Rory McIlroy, is he not that type of golfer?
Oh, I mean, he can. Patrick Hilton, the YouTube comment, said he won at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. Yeah, that's not a major. Rory is one of the most unbelievably talented golfers in the sport and has been for many years. He's got this yips thing in majors that you never really feel safe about it. And he was not good this year and will be going home.
Adam Black says Tommy Fleetwood is the DFS letdown that he'll never play.
Yeah, I've fallen for that one a few times before. You're not alone in that one. Great mullet, though.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll continue to give you the latest from Augusta at the Masters. Going to be a great weekend. We got so much more to get into here as far as Draftmas is concerned. We got the daily draft coming up at the top of the next hour as well. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37. Sunshine Sunday and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Near Weaverville, earlier accident. Future 26 eastbound at US 2570 now clearing. 26 westbound is stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Again, 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276 in Haywood County. 40 eastbound slowing after Fines Creek Road and US 276. 40 eastbound again slow between Newfound Road and George's Branch Road. Hendersonville Road, no delays. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is your choice of bacon or sausage, egg and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes for just $3. Break your morning routine and get your $3 breakfast deal today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
In a developing story, we've learned that after decades of service to boys and girls everywhere, the Easter Bunny has stepped down. He has identified his replacement as a local rabbit who has been seen frequenting area Ingles markets in recent days. He has been stocking up on Ingles Easter candy, holiday hams, farm fresh eggs, and Easter lilies and balloons. And they also say that Easter magic indeed starts at Ingles.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time to get weird. And, weird and crimes usually go together. I will have a crime story coming up in the next hour. This one is also crimes, but it's also very, very weird. A man in York County, Pennsylvania has been arrested. He was arrested on Tuesday morning after allegedly leading officers on two separate vehicle chases in 2 counties. I'm just going to read you the story here from WGAL that reports that troopers said that they could see items in the car that this man was driving. He was driving a BMW with a Florida plate. We had a weird BMW story yesterday as well. They said they could see 2 weird items in the car that he was driving. However, he said he was just taking some items to the junkyard. Well, he drove away when they tried to pull him over. Finally, they were able to chase him down. He got out and ran on foot, but while inspecting the car, they found a dog inside and a dead deer in the trunk. He ran into the woods, and then later that morning, they get another suspicious call, or a call about suspicious activity from Abbottstown, where a school bus had gotten stolen. And guess who was the driver? Obviously, a chase ensued yet again. He, by the way, left the BMW on some train tracks. I guess he was trying to get rid of the evidence. But to me, the weird part is who has a dead deer in the trunk of a BMW? For what reason could you possibly? I mean, is this?
Maybe you're trying to prove a point.
I mean, maybe he was going back to the trailer park.
100%.
Maybe he was going back to the trailer park, and that's. I mean, now that makes more sense. Guy from trailer park drives BMW, brings dead deer home for food.
I have had a commonality between my weird stories over the last handful of weeks. There's a lot of strange things happening with Delta Airlines employees.
Oh, my gosh. What now?
And this is another one. Apparently, the Army has special ops teams, and they perform training exercises in some very strange places. Well, one of those places was the Revere Hotel in Boston Common on Tuesday. 10 p.m., they schedule a special ops exercise. And what is to happen is they go into a hotel room that they were specifically told. They go through the hotel the way that they would do, bust down the door, detain the role player, as they are called in this story.
Mm-hmm.
So, as it was scripted, they go through the hotel, bust down the door, detain, wasn't the role player. It was a Delta Airlines crew member that was staying in the adjoining hotel room to the one they were supposed to bust down. Somebody said the wrong number.
Oh.
Apparently, as they were being detained, they resisted, which the special ops team thought was part of it. So it maybe got a little aggressive. They have issued an apology because, oopsie poopsie, we were not supposed to do that. Delta said in a statement, We are looking into reports of an alleged incident in Boston that may involve Delta people. We have nothing further to share at this time other than to reaffirm our commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of our people. And weird things are happening around us because it seems like every time I tell a weird story, it has something to do with Delta.
If you were the head of PR for Delta right now, how close are you to just saying screw it and walking out the door?
I can't do it anymore.
Right.
All right, we've had stewards that would not fly with each other because they got into a fight. Had somebody open the emergency hatch on an airplane. It was still taxiing, but just, I'm not. There are airlines that I prefer to others, specifically the ones that give me enough legroom that I don't have to put my feet in my lap. But Delta, I know you didn't really have anything to do with this, but let's get it together. You're expected to be a high watermark here.
So do you want to share of all your travels? What is your favorite airline?
I don't know that I have a favorite one. I have some least favorites that I probably shouldn't say.
No, I wouldn't.
There are some.
You like Southwest best? You like American Airlines?
Well, Southwest I flew a good amount of Southwest. I really hated the Southwest flies free. No, they don't. I've seen me do it a bunch of times, and it was never free, ever. And 48 regulations on what your carry-on could be. It has to be less than 12 pounds, and it has to be small enough to fit in your back pocket.
I think I've only flown Delta, so I don't know anything else.
Oddly enough, I've probably flown less Delta than anywhere else. There are some airlines that really don't understand that not everybody is built like Tank Spencer and stands a paltry 5'4". I am 6'5", and some of these airlines don't understand that leg room is very important.
It is indeed, but I also need somebody to control the snoring of the people on the plane.
Nobody ever sleeps around me.
That sounds frightening.
Well, in first class, I've had people fall asleep that were sitting close to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had this. I guess I have that look of this is not the guy that I should go full on sleep apnea on his shoulder.
Oh.
Because he looks angry.
It wasn't on my shoulder, but I had sleep apnea guy across the row from me on the last flight that I took. And it was like trying to ride in an airplane next to a jackhammer. Thankfully, it was the shortest part of the flight, or the shortest part of the trip. It was from Atlanta to here, so it was like a 45-minute flight. But good Lord, how many logs can you saw in 45 minutes?
See, and
he hit every one of them.
See, I was never much of a sleeper on an airplane either. And after one rather uncomfortable incident, I probably never will be again. I fell asleep on a jet. So there were, 6 of us on this plane coming back from the West Coast back here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember why we got called back here, but we got called back for some reason. And I was laid out, and we hit turbulence unlike anything I have ever hit before in my life. And I don't know if you've ever seen me get scared.
No.
Scared, Jeremy, is bad. Brian Haynes figured this out the other day because he came around a corner, and I didn't know he was there, and I about punched him right in the face. You scare me. I'm telling you right now, you should not be within arm's distance because, people have fight or flight instincts. I don't have a flight. Mine is instantaneously fight. And so we hit turbulence. I thought somebody had woke me up, and I jumped up ready to fight everybody on this airplane, and none of them were within 10 feet of me.
Nice.
Like, oh, I'm the jerk. Oh, okay. I was having a lovely dream 6 seconds ago.
Right. And all of a sudden, Flostradamus goes into, his MMA training days.
Oh, yeah. I went full Iceman Chuck Liddell. Somebody is fitting to catch these hands.
This is the Sportsocracy. It is the Draftmas season, and we are your central location for all things Draftmas season. We will cover each and every pick of the NFL Draft live on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Get into the chat with us every day. And, of course, you'll get the alerts whenever we are live, including for all 3 days of the draft. Coming up next, we'll talk about the draft needs for our next team, which is?
You're asking me? It is.
You're the one that audibled. Are we doing that one, or which one are we doing?
It's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up next right here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 eastbound, light delays between I-40 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound, then stop and go between Airport Road and Hendersonville Road. 26 on the westbound side, delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is your choice of bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes for just $3. Break your morning routine and get your $3 breakfast deal today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Springfest is here at Lowe's. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season. Refresh your yard with 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. And refresh your home with savings on paint and stain. Right now, buy one, get one 50% off on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint, Stainmaster Paint, and Cabot Exterior Stains. Shop Springfest today. Valid through 4/12. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
If you're shopping for Easter, Kohl's is unmatched. To prep for the celebrations, I treated myself to a few Sephora beauty must-haves. Plus, I found great basket stuffers for my girls and got an extra 40% off cute outfits for them to wear to Sunday brunch and all spring long. Oh, and I got an extra 15% off. So, take it from me. You need to hop over to Kohl's right now. Select styles. Offers end April 8th. Sephora coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Get ready for this because it is here. iHeartland has arrived in Fortnite. I mean, you're going to see tons of concerts from huge artists like Charlie Puth. You can race, build, and even parkour, and find cool spots to meet up with fellow players and brag about how many dubs you've racked up. So ready up, jump into Fortnite, and check out iHeartland and Discover, now open. Visit iHeartRadio.com/iHeartland to start playing.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Another round of draft needs as we head in to, the thick of the draftmas season.
Next week, boys and girls, the first team by team 7-round mock draft. Let's go.
He's going full on 7 rounds.
This is the hardest one to do because everybody has to walk out with an A+. And that's Okay, that's okay. It's not easy to do.
No, well, I mean, it's right. I feel like you can't do that. I don't feel like there's a scenario where everybody gets the A+.
Did it last year.
Somebody's got to have.
Did it last year.
Somewhere.
Yeah, and a great team for that to be fire them cannons, by golly, put more powder in them.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers entering the post-Tom Brady era. As we all knew, they would eventually. Tom Brady has retired, and this team needs a quarterback. But why?
You already have one of those.
No, stop that.
Baker, interception maker. I cannot wait. I'm so happy. Every time I see Baker Mayfield's name under center for your team, it just fills me with glee.
It's going to be a month. 1 month.
Of all the things that you've said over the 3.5 years we've been doing this, I think the fact that you're digging in on that might be the dumbest one.
Why?
Where are you going to go? Now, if you somehow manage to fall into Will Levis, okay, maybe now we can talk, but I'm not even sure that's how that would go. Baker Mayfield's your quarterback.
What has Baker Mayfield shown you that makes you believe that he's going to start?
Well, he's obviously shown your front office something. Look, I think he is god-awful.
He costs us nothing.
He's also one of the only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL that has me blocked on Twitter. So I love this so much.
He cost you nothing, and he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
And yet you prioritized him. Yeah, it's... How you feel about Baker Mayfield is completely irrelevant to how Jason Light and Todd Bowles
It's pretty clear that they paid $4 million for him at most.
I watched
That's incentives included.
I watched Todd Bowles do this exact same thing with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay? Watched it with my own 2 eyes.
Baker Mayfield's being paid as a backup. That's all I'm saying.
To who?
To Kyle Trask.
You're drunk. If you think the sheer fact that you have listened and agreed with me for 3 years that you would never bring in Cam Newton to be a backup for the exact same reason. And now it's your team, and you put your fingers in your ears like, nope, they don't believe in him at all.
Can't believe it.
Okay. You know that torture ticket that we love to talk about?
Yeah.
Where Tank has to go full cowboy downtown wearing a free hug shirt? Barring injury, Baker Mayfield starts more games than any quarterback on this roster. And I'll make it the same way with me, and I can't stand to be touched. I'll make it right now.
Right now. Anyway.
And you see how he changed the subject?
Yeah, what does this team need?
Right.
What does this team need in the 2023 NFL Draft? To me, number 1 has to be right tackle. Or left tackle.
Luke Gadecki is not that.
Right. Donovan Smith is gone, thank God. Tristan Wirfs, I'm not sure I like him on the left side. I'm sure I think I like him being on the right side. So if there's a left tackle available at 19 in this draft, or even if you have to move up to get one, you do something.
I'm not. You're going to pay a pretty penny, because I'm not sure that all Skoronski, Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, I'm not sure they're not all gone after 13. So you're talking about having to get up into the top 12, which would be expensive. I'm not sure rephrase that. I'm not sure you're doing that for an offensive lineman, because you need a right tackle. You could very easily sit at 19 and take Darnell Wright. You could sit there and take DeJuan Jones, and I think you're in just fine shape. I also have this funny feeling that Tampa going to Tampa, and this ends up being somebody on that defense.
Could be. On what defense?
On New Orleans. What team do you think you're going to take on the Tampa Bay defense?
Yeah. How are we going to draft somebody that's on the defense already? I don't understand what you're talking about.
That goes to the defense. That you draft a defensive player.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I don't know why.
Why did you stop me?
Because you said it weird. Didn't make sense to me. Okay, so add to the defense. Where would you add to the defense?
I've had this as the drop-dead spot for Nolan Smith. Now, the further time's going along, I'm hearing that he's not making it past Pittsburgh, which makes it probably more likely that you take one of those second-tier right tackles. I mean, you kept the corners. If you had lost Jamel Dean, then corner would have been your biggest need, and you would have been a drop-dead spot for a lot of those guys, but you didn't. So now I'm looking at one ridiculously big need on the right side because Luke Gadecki is not good. I mean, he might be able to play at guard. I'm not real sure. He was horror awful and got Tom Brady just annihilated more than once.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where I would go. I'm still not – the bad thing is that I'm looking at some of the positions that you've invested high draft capital in. Interior of the defensive line, edge rusher, because you keep taking players that don't make sense. Logan Hall.
Oh, you liked that pick last year.
I liked that pick playing on the inside. And then he played on the edge a bunch of times, and I went, but no.
Well, he was never playing on the inside. That's Vita Vea's spot.
I'm not talking about playing at the nose. I thought he was going to play 3-4 defensive end, and he just did not do that as often as I thought he did. He would come in playing edge and four-man fronts. No. I mean, look, Tampa Bay's not as bad as we have made them out to be. Now, I think it is comically funny. Oh, it's not just me. I mean, in terms of Vegas odds to win the Super Bowl, you're 22nd. So it's not like anybody else is throwing you any ticker-tape parades anytime soon either.
No.
This is not just me. You have the worst coaching staff in the league. It's not close. In a league where, who is the second worst coach in this league? And they fired them all. I don't have anybody to make fun of anymore. I was going to go Lovie Smith, but he's gone. Cliff Kingsbury's gone. Oh, no.
Gets tough, doesn't it?
It does get tough. Ooh, that makes it even worse for you.
You got to go with one of the new guys, I guess. Josh McDaniel. That's the answer.
I think that's probably the right call.
That's the answer.
All right, you're the Bucs fan.
Yep.
If you had your druthers, how does this draft go?
It goes Nolan Smith, obviously. If you could get him at 19, or
I'm going to say that's much less likely now than it was 2 weeks ago.
Or the left/right tackle, or Brian Branch. If there's a chance that he falls to 19, I could very well see Brian Branch ending up in this secondary because they've already talked about wanting to move Antoine Winfield to the free safety this year. And so Brian Branch comes in to play strong safety with Antoine Winfield. Plus you got that secondary's taken care of at that point.
Yeah, but you signed Ryan Neal. I'm not really sure I feel like safety is not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Neal was actually good last year. And I think I look at that secondary now and go, I would take a slot at some point, but I'm not prioritizing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just see a path that Tampa Bay is the grossest team to watch in the NFL.
Sure.
Because you're still good defensively. I don't think you're great because I don't see a lot of high-level pass rushers. But, I mean, it's competitive.
Here's the thing. This team was gross to watch last year when Tom Brady was the quarterback.
Yes.
Now what do you think it's going to look like with Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask?
Happy. It's going to look like happiness. And Kyle Trask has nothing to do with it. Yeah, your backup quarterback has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good year.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Got the daily draft coming up after the Sports Center update. And today, Jeremy and I are going to be picking our teams for the rest of the Masters tournament down in Augusta. So for the next 2 rounds, who would we have on our fantasy teams, our fantasy rosters? And more DraftMans coverage after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37, sunshine Sunday, and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 eastbound, light delays between I-40 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound, then stop and go between Airport Road and Hendersonville Road. 26 on the westbound side delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Whether you are spraying down the shop or getting winter's grime off your own home, a pressure washer from Northern Tools says you're serious about spring cleaning. From all-electric Power Horse to Honda-powered Northstar models, they've got the right machine for any type of clean. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I'm Doug Brown. Second round play at the Masters in a weather delay at Augusta National. Not long after the horn sounded, two huge pine trees came down in heavy winds right in front of the 17th tee. No injuries reported. Brooks Koepka holds the lead at 12 under. He leads by 3 over John Rahm and by 4 over amateur Sam Bennett. Phil Mickelson shoots 69 today. He's at 4 under. Tiger Woods is 2 over, trying to make the cut. The Celtics host the Raptors tonight. Boston will be the 2 seed in the East. Celtics guard Jaylen Brown talks about his future.
I want to win a championship, of course. I think that's what every player and every athlete plays the game for, is to win. So that would be nice to start.
Do you want to do that in Boston?
Absolutely. Why not? I think we got a great opportunity.
Jaylen Brown with Jason Fitz on Key J and Max. Brown has a year left on his contract. UConn sophomore guard Jordan Hawkins announces on ESPN's NBA Today he'll enter the June draft. He averaged 16 points a game for the national champs.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, WIN. That's WIN. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere around the world, anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can also see us, your smartphone or other device, on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It's still a Threadbare Friday, so you want to get your topic in. Put that in the chat. Coming up later on in the hour, we'll talk about the draft needs for the New Orleans Saints by popular demand of the members of the House of Reprehensibles in the YouTube chat. And we have breaking news out of
we have something
Augusta.
very bizarre that just happened at Augusta.
This is not a dance to your song, Tank news. This could be bad as the weather has rolled in at the Masters for the second time today. Play has been suspended, and this time it's because 2 trees fell near the 17th hole, and it appears, according to reports, that the video footage of the trees falling, one of them looked like it landed on several people.
According to the ESPN broadcast, no one was hurt.
Good.
So
very good.
That is all we know at this point. But
let's hope that stays the same.
It is what I'm looking at the video on Twitter right now. It's one of the most bizarre things I think I've ever seen. I guess people heard it and started moving because you can see on the video, people just start scurrying. And it lands, and according to ESPN, no one was hurt. The AP has not picked that up, but SI and ESPN have both put that out.
Yep. Like I said, according to the report that I saw from the Augusta Chronicle, they said that it looked like people may have been hit, but hopefully that is not the case. And if ESPN is reporting that, then I have to trust their reporting on this as well. So play has been suspended for a second time today at the Masters. That's the other thing about the Masters this weekend is that what's the weather going to do? We're already seeing severe weather today. Tomorrow's supposed to be worse. It could be anywhere from the forecast that I've seen from a quarter inch of rain just scattered throughout the day to a full-on deluge that might wash out most of the play tomorrow. So then you could have like the early starts on Sunday and trying to cram in as much as you can and then end up with trying to avoid, obviously, a Monday finish.
I will say it is highly likely that we have a Monday finish. Because I'm going to say I doubt that they resume today. I would say it's 5:04 here in the Eastern time zone. So the chances of that are light. You've got roughly half the field that has 9 or fewer holes left.
Jon Rahm right now sitting in second place at 9 under par. Brooks Koepka is in the clubhouse as the leader at 12 under, but Jon Rahm's through 9. He's got the whole back 9 to play, and he's not going to do that in an hour.
No.
If they pick play, why would they pick play back up today, especially if the winds are going to keep kicking?
Yeah, the chances of that are really limited.
Right. But it is the top of the third hour of the program. It's daily draft time, and we're going to pick our teams for the weekend. Down at Augusta, who are you taking? You going to let me go first on this one?
I will let you go first.
Let me go first. Okay, well, I feel like it would be stupid for me not to take the guy who's got a 3-stroke lead at the moment through 2 rounds, or at least he's through 2 rounds, Brooks Koepka, which could be it is a great story. I don't want to say could be. It is a great story. A guy who has struggled with injuries for the last 3 years. He's one of the best golfers in the world. What did he win? What was it? What was the one he won back-to-back? Was that the U.S. Open? So back-to-back U.S. Open championships for him. Then the injuries creep in. He's not really competitive most of the time. He goes to LIV, and now he looks like he could be carrying the banner for LIV.
Well, Stephen Tao asked, is 3 strokes a lot, asking for a friend? Let me put it this way. There are only 17 players on the course that are 3 or less strokes under par. So, yeah, that's a pretty substantial lead. The fact that he got in early today, the third round cannot start until the second round ends. That's actually, if no one is hurt, that is the second biggest story here. That these guys that were going to have to play in really ugly weather. Because, when you were picking teams, you were looking at guys that had to play late today going, this is not going to go your way because the wind is kicking, the course has completely changed. Most of the low numbers you've seen have been from guys that went out early today. That means Brooks Koepka may not swing a stick until Sunday. And that's entirely in the realm of possibility. So I can't fault you. That is not who I would have taken first. My first choice is very easy. It's Jon Rahm.
Okay.
I don't have physical ailments with Jon Rahm. He has the weirdest golf swing I think I've ever seen in my life. He only pulls the club back to about 70%. And he has been annihilating this course. And now he doesn't have to play the second 9 in the torrential weather. There is a good possibility that nothing happens tomorrow. I'm looking at the weather forecast. Augusta is very picky about what they will let play happen in, and I'm not seeing many windows. If they get the second round done tomorrow, that's probably the best you could expect. And then my second one's Colin Morikawa. You said it going in. I didn't so much poo-poo it as this course does not really lend itself to him. as much as it does some other guys. So it was hard going in, but he's just been laser focused.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the weather is playing a big deal here because he's another one of those that's completely done, just waiting on the second round to finish.
Yep. 6 under par, sitting in 4th place at the moment. I got to go with your guy. You took my guy. John Rahm was my favorite going into the tournament. But again, because he doesn't have the lead right now, I felt like I had to take Brooks Koepka. So I'll take your guy, and it's Viktor Hovland, the cowboy himself.
I absolutely love the kid. He and Matthew Wolff, I still go. It's one of my favorite things to do with golf is go back and look at teams you had in college. Going, how did you lose like ever? And Matthew Wolff and Viktor Hovland that were partners.
Mm-hmm.
That's shocking. He's so good. I considered him instead of Morikawa. He just didn't look as good today as I wanted him to.
Right. And then I think I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. Sitting at 5 under. He's one of those guys, because I look at the rest of the leaderboard and go, okay, so at the moment, Brooks Koepka's got a 7-stroke lead on these guys at 5 under. Which one of them do I think could go on a magical run? And of those guys, I think it's Jordan Spieth. I like Sam Burns, but I'm not real sure. Cameron Young.
No, you can't have Sam Burns. Sam Burns is mine.
I figured he would.
I have him on DraftKings. That was always happening.
I figured he would be. So Jordan Spieth is going to be my 3rd selection.
I'm going to take. Then I'll take the 2 layups that are still within at least some bit of shouting distance because it's going to get very cute after these 2. Sam Burns and Cameron Young. They were 2 guys I really, really liked coming into this tournament and are currently making me very happy with the green number that is lighting up on my DraftKings app. And again, Cameron Young avoided that was my biggest fear was, oh, good Lord, I got 2 guys that are going through this windstorm, and now with the tree falling, it looks like they will avoid that and hopefully get their 9 in tomorrow. But they've both played well. I feel like you're going to need Brooks to have some physical issues because he is so far out in front, but it's possible. John Rahm's the only one that's within clear striking distance right now.
What's Brooks's problem? What's his physical ailment?
Let's see, the back, knees.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a foot thing at one point.
And what do we know about when it's windy and it's chilly temperatures and joints and aches and pain? That they get worse.
Oh, absolutely.
They get worse when the weather is like this, and this is exactly how this tournament's going to be.
Well, the only problem is that there's a possibility that he's not going to see any of that.
Maybe.
He could be sitting in Butler Cabin with Jim Nantz waiting on everybody to finish tomorrow.
Maybe so.
Which, by the way, is 100% the right call. We have, if 2020 showed us anything, we're malleable. Okay, we can play this on Monday. I do not want to watch it raining sideways, and these guys trying to play into that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you've watched any of this, take that 6th green and realize there are guys that are going to have to play into that tomorrow. It annihilated people today. What do you think tomorrow is going to look like?
I will do it. I will take the amateur.
We could have done this. We could have done this for the rest of the hour, and I would have never gotten it.
Really? You think that you think that kind of downfall?
Oh, I don't think it's downfall. I just don't think he can win. All right, so just in theory, let's say he's in the last group on Sunday.
All right,
and I'll give the kid credit. He stepped up on one, and I felt very sure that those knees were going to be shaking and the nerves, and he just piped one right down the center. And he's done it all day.
Mm-hmm.
He's held up to this. Sunday is really, really different. I mean, there was a story, I can't remember the commentator that I heard say this. He told, Sam Bennett told him, I usually have my phone and I'm flipping through my phone while I'm on the golf course. They don't allow me to do that here, and it's really got me laser focused. And it just reminded me, oh yeah, this kid can barely drink. So yeah, I'm gonna say I was gonna pass on that.
I think he'll cave under the pressure, but this is about building the best team for the weekend. So if he finishes in the top 6,
he's a formidable pick.
Right, then he'll be just fine for my team. I'm not saying he's got a shot to win it. And you know what? I'll be the one to do this as well. I will take the past veteran, who may be over the hill, but he's having a hell of a Masters so far. It's Phil Mickelson, old lefty, up there he's at 4 under for the tournament. He's right outside that threatening window. We'll see.
Yeah, I wasn't getting there either. You said veteran, and I thought you were going to take the name that I really wanted to round this out. It's Gary Woodland, who has one of the funniest stories I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched him much since he won the – I don't remember if he won the U.S. He won the U.S. Open. I haven't watched him much since then. He was Bryson DeChambeau earlier in his career of I can just absolutely pipe a driver 9 million yards. Doesn't do that anymore. It got him in trouble a lot. And I watched a lot of him this morning. And I went, he's going to hang around here. So if you're playing in those second chance DraftKings tournaments, he's not a bad choice.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
It is, yeah. And I don't know how it's going to work with the weather.
Right. Well, I'm sure you'll have to wait until the second round's over.
And let me go ahead and tell you, Brooks Koepka is going to be $1 bajillion.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling near Saluda, 26 westbound near the Gorge Zip Line, approaching US 25 connector due to an accident. 26 westbound, then slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, stop and go between Airport Road and Hendersonville Road. 40 westbound is crawling in Marion between NC 226 and Ashworth Road, and 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Hendersonville Road moving well. Sweeten Creek Road, no delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank,
We're proud of that, and that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
You are listening to the Sportsocracy everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us live on YouTube as well with our nice little Jeremy Greene graphics there. What do we call that superhero entrance that we just played on the YouTube channel? What is that? That's like the.
We call it nothing because it could be construed as looking as though it was something that is copyrighted.
Indeed. It was just different enough to raise any alarm bells.
What do you got?
I like that. It is ESPN Asheville. We come to you live from the Ingles Studio as always. And there's news out of the NFL today that a long-standing relationship between one former player and his former franchise has come to an end after many, many years. And some would say way too long. John Elway, no longer a consultant for the Denver Broncos. His contract has run out, and the Broncos have said, we're good.
Yeah. You are a great quarterback. You're really bad at finding them.
Elway did an interview with 9 News in Denver where he said that the ownership has made the decision not to extend his contract as a consultant after being the GM of this team. And he says that the Broncos are in good hands. Now, my question to you is, what was the conversation between Sean Payton and John Elway? Or was there one?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure the conversation was had. And it probably ended with, bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye now. Hey, Sean Payton's going to do this his way. He's going to bring in his guys. I told you weeks ago, there is a rumbling around the league that George Payton is going to be allowed to handle the draft, and then he may be one of those GMs that gets relieved of his duties in the days after the draft.
And I don't know that I really understand that. Why would you let a GM do the draft and then let him go?
Well, there's a few reasons for that. The primary one is you don't want him hired by somebody else because he did your entire draft board. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, once you got to this point, they kept him involved. The rumor is that Sean Payton wanted to have his own guy. But once you get, I mean, think about when Sean Payton was hired by the Broncos. By that time, there's a lot of proprietary information that's in George Payton's head. Now, what happens on draft day? Who do you think's making these picks? Denver Broncos get on the clock. Who do you
Sean
think?
Payton.
There you go.
Not a question.
That's why. So this is why this doesn't bother me, but the New York Jets once let Mike McCagnon run a draft where they had 1 billion picks. And he had a dispute with Adam Gase, and then they fired him right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me because, okay, so who is actually making the selections? There's no Sean Payton here.
Yeah, there's no doubt who will be making the
I
pick.
mean, Adam Gase would be handing in crayons or cards that were written in crayon. So I don't think it was him. It doesn't really bother me with Denver. I mean, there's no doubt who has the most pull with the Broncos, and it's Sean Payton.
Of course it is. I mean, that was the deal.
That's how you got him, because I'm not 100% sure he was in love with his job.
No.
It was the best one that came up.
You come to us, and we will give you carte blanche. You can do whatever you want.
Especially when he walked around Arizona and went, whoa, this is not an NFL franchise. Did I accidentally interview for a USFL job? Making you pay for your Sammy at lunchtime.
Yeah. That is a bad look. It's a very bad look.
Arizona?
Yeah.
It's one of the worst.
The way we talk about the Cardinals and the way you talk about the Cardinals, it's like they've got a Dollar General in their stadium of just this is you would expect something that stupid from this franchise.
I had somebody tell me there are exposed floorboards in their weight room. Think about what I just said.
In a world where you go to the best.
The report from the NFLPA said that there was, I don't remember how they phrased it, but it was something to the effect of that they hadn't put the money into the weight room and there was obvious wear and tear. And then somebody in the league told me that the report was that there's exposed floorboards in their weight room.
That's crazy.
And then you look at other teams and go, what?
Yeah, but you go to the facilities of the best college programs.
Oh,
and they're unbelievable. Now, obviously, that's a big recruiting tool for them, but you would expect an NFL team.
Well, I mean, if you ever want to know why potential owners are vetted so hard, it's because of this. And there are people in the NFL that currently consider there to be 31 teams in the NFL because Arizona is persona non grata. Like, I'm not taking that job. You don't pay. You don't invest in the team. I mean, I want you to think about what I'm going to say. Do you remember how high I was on Arizona 2-3 years ago?
Absolutely.
Why do you think it atrophied?
Best team in the NFC.
And why do you think it atrophied so quick? Because I started hearing things. And the louder you get about that, the more, the quicker people will come to your side and go, hey, you should stop saying that. Because there's things you don't know that don't have anything to do with the product on the field. And this is going to age like a dairy product.
Right.
That's why I went with it, and then instantaneously gone. Because that's not a professional franchise.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah. Had nothing to do with the 8-game losing streak that they had at the end of that season.
Well, if you remember, I jumped off the ship long before that happened. It had started. There was also a borderline mutiny in their locker room that I just so happened to be pretty clued into. And that's when I went, oh, Cliff Kingsbury's not an NFL coach. He may not be a high school coach. And that's how it bore itself out over time.
And now he's off waxing surfboards in, where was it, Singapore or the Philippines?
He went somewhere on his own darkness retreat.
Well, I think his girlfriend was doing the model shoot in the Philippines or something. That's where he said he was going to be spending his summer.
I'm not crying for him, I promise.
Denver Broncos are one of those teams, though. I look at this upcoming season and go, I expect the most out of you. I expect the most change out of that team, and it's just with the leadership.
The leader, look, last year was proof positive of when things don't click, it can slide fast. Lee Bruce in our YouTube comments asked, what if he wants to sabotage the draft knowing he's getting fired? I don't know that he knows he's getting fired definitively. And he may not. That's just something that has been said.
Do you ever want to have another job in the NFL?
Well, I mean, in terms of sabotaging, it's not like he's main eating the pigs. And Sean Payton is going to be – he is the –
But that's what he's suggesting.
He is the alpha and the omega.
Right, but that's what he's suggesting is that he makes bogus picks because he knows he's getting fired.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Sean Payton would not allow that. Every pick that comes out of that room is either going to be delivered by Sean Payton to whomever is making the pick in Kansas City, or it's going to be stamped with Sean Payton's seal of approval when it gets called in by George Payton.
Oh, but Payton probably has no involvement there. That's how aggressive that would get, if that's the plan. That was the reason that I railed on the Jets so hard, because Mike McCagnon was literally the one picking the players, and it led to 2 fights in the draft room. Not fist fights, but very loud, vocal arguments. That's the reason you don't do that.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The most important message of the day is going to be coming up after the next break. But real quick, I feel like we let this kind of die on the vine for a minute, and we never addressed it publicly. But what is the deal with the wrestler bracket?
We're going to do it after the draft. You and I had discussed this. We just hadn't discussed it on air.
Right. We haven't clued the audience into why we did 2 days of wrestling bracket stuff and then just left it.
Well, because it got to a point of, oh, wow, we're really flooding social media, and algorithms don't like that. So to give it the plus, once May comes around, you have more days like today where you look around and go, huh.
This place is a ghost town.
This is, oh, wow. Lead story today is Caleb Love's transferring to Michigan. Sorry, Michigan. Be careful what you ask for.
I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll go up there and average 25 points a night, and they'll be terrible.
You said 17 in a strange way, but the terrible part you got right. If he's the best player on your team, you're probably not real good. Carolina fans are, amen. It's exactly right. He said.
Well, he was never the best player on our team, but
no, but he thought he was.
He thought he was.
He really thought he was. He is. Caleb Love is. I feel like he has earned his spot as a card-carrying captain of the team gets mine.
Yes,
no doubt,
100%.
That's a man whose first name and last name are his favorite 2 words in the English language, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon.
Best member of Team Gets Mine for the North Carolina Tar Heels since
Joseph Forte,
Cole Anthony.
Go.
I hated Cole Anthony so much just because of that. I respected the kid's game. I mean, there's no doubt he had game, but you can't do that. I mean, that's just not the Carolina way. We play team basketball. We're not, we don't run the NC State system of here's Dennis Smith and 4 dudes.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
Sorry, Patrick. I had to do it. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37, sunshine Sunday, and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 26 westbound in near Saluda, near the Gorge Zip Line, approaching the US 25 connector due to an accident. 26 westbound, again slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between Airport Road and Hendersonville Road in the Mountain Home area. 26 eastbound stop and go approaching Chimney Rock Road due to an accident. In Marion, 40 westbound is crawling between NC 226 and Ashworth Road, Haywood County. 40 westbound crawling.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio!
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
June 14th, Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. On sale now. Tickets available at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.com or the venue box office.
Get her done.
Proudly presented by 99.9 KISS Country. Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com. washpros.com for a free estimate today.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's that time on the Sportsocracy each and every day where we bring you the most important message you will hear.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah. So, big thing happened in New York yesterday where a man was convicted of a gangland-style execution from 2016. The man's name is Nicholas Tartaglione. He was a former New York police officer who obviously was accused of crimes. Very brutal scene where one man he thought had stolen money from him. He took him out into the middle of the woods 60 miles from New York and murdered him violently. Then goes and picks up three members of his family, well, two members of his family, two nephews of the guy, and a family friend.
When you say family, do you mean they have the same last name or family?
No, they were the guy's nephews.
Okay.
So it was the first guy that he allegedly killed, and now that a jury has said he killed them, Martin Luna. Then he took Urbano Santiago and Miguel Luna, who were the nephews, and a family friend named Hector Gutierrez, took them out into the woods, killed them, buried them all in a mass grave, and now he has finally been convicted of this horrendous murder. Now, I tell you this story because it's not the actual crime that you should know him most for. I think what maybe history one day will tell us, his most important role, is that he was once the cellmate of Jeffrey Epstein. And you're going to tell me there's nothing fishy about a former New York cop accused of murdering 4 people in the same jail cell with a guy. You see where I'm going.
Uh-oh. Tank's wearing my tinfoil hat.
I found it in the drawer, and I just had to pull it out.
Your story had a much heavier tone to it than mine is going to. There are a lot of words in the English language that I never thought I would say together, and this seems to be happening more and more and more. These might be 2 of the weirdest, and they've been trending on social media for 3 days. Sushi terrorism.
Okay.
Stories from Tokyo, Japan. Japanese police have arrested 2 men who posted a video on social media showing them eating pickled ginger with their chopsticks. Nothing I just said is illegal, correct?
No, nothing.
They were eating it directly from the communal container at a famous beef bowl restaurant. Okay. So the way that this works is it's like buffet style, and you're supposed to use the tongs to put the things on your plate, and then you eat. So apparently now there is a social media craze of people eating directly out of the bowl for TikTok. And in Japan, that is a crime that you can be arrested for.
Really? Is this a COVID thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They were arrested on suspicion of obstructing business and destroying and dirtying property. That's the crimes.
Interesting.
There's very specific crimes. Just obstructing business, that's a crime I can totally get behind.
Mm-hmm.
You obstruct business, crimes. Assume where I was headed with that. Destroying and dirtying property. That's It's a bizarre name for a crime. So this takes me back to a phrase that I have said many times. Stop doing stupid things on TikTok. This one, you didn't die. A lot of the stories I've told in this very same vein over the years, somebody goes, oh, look, taking a selfie for Instagram, and boop. I'm going to sound like Abe Simpson here, old man yelling at clouds. There are times that I look around the world that we live in and just go, you know, when I'm old, I'm going to hate everybody. Like, just everything that I see on a daily basis.
When you're old? So that happened 3 years ago.
I'm not old yet. Not everything makes me angry.
Are you
doing stupid things for social media? Like, oh, look, I got this cute picture on top of an active volcano. You know, I think there were books written, the survival of the fittest.
Yeah, natural selection. There's a whole theory behind it.
But this one is this might be the stupidest one that I've ever told. You know it's a crime, and it's gross. You don't double dip the chip. We learned this from Seinfeld in 1996.
Right.
Just stop doing stupid stuff for TikTok.
And you apparently don't wee in the shower at the gym. We also learned that from Seinfeld.
Well, you shouldn't do that. You should definitely not do that in the shower at the gym. In the shower at your house?
Because it all goes to the same place? Come on, Elaine.
It's not all pipes, okay?
It's all pipes. It all goes to the same place.
More because other people could be standing in that shower. If you've got your own shower, you do what you want to. What you do behind the privacy of a bathroom door is between you and
there's a famous rap star that told us you should not do that in Never mind. Shouldn't do that when other people are around.
Jacqueline, our YouTube comment said, TikTok is why I have no faith in humanity. Keeping the attention span below 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand TikTok. I get that people have short attention spans and they want to see the little videos. Some of them are funny, but most of it is just asinine.
I just want you to think that you and I grew up in the era of MTV, Total Request Live.
Yep.
VH1,
yep.
Pop-up videos.
Mm-hmm.
All the music videos. Those were, 3 to 4 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
We are now to a point where if it can't be confined into 60 seconds, it can't hold our attention.
Right.
Which means the next generation is going to be at about 8. So
hey, at least they'll be really good at Name That Tune. They've only heard 4 bars of the of the new Sam Smith or whoever. I don't know. It's the first pop name that came to my mind.
Oh, playing a fun game of, is this an active artist on the Billboard Top 100 or a name we just made up with you and I would be phenomenal.
Right.
Is it Luke Combs? No. Then I don't know who it is.
No, I'm not sure. Really not sure who's making music these days.
Creed? Are we getting a Creed? Because I know that one.
I've heard a bunch of new Weezer in the last, couple of months. I think they just had an album drop, and it's actually pretty good.
I've officially gotten to the point of I just hate music. I hear it and I'm like, it's just noise. Go get the Creed bangers. And that's real music.
He doesn't have his Scott Stapp or Chris Stapleton. Those are 2 of the weirdest singers to love.
Oh, Chris Stapleton's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm saying I get Chris Stapleton. I don't understand Scott Stapp at all.
Here's the thing. You know what? We got a decent weekend coming up. You just get you a pair of headphones there, Grandpa, and listen to the Human Clay album, and you'll get it.
Oh, I owned the Human Clay album way before you did. I can guarantee you that.
I will say I doubt that. My father loved Creed. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was young, but my father loved Creed.
I was trying to think. You're 10?
Something like that, yeah.
I was going to say Creed had to be my freshman year in high school.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Trust me, I knew good music
from
early on.
I was all about it, and I played the hell out of that album.
Hey, I knew good music from early on. And you know what I know definitively? This noise ain't music. Let's go.
And then it went through the same thing that Nickelback went through. We all thought that was a good album, too. And then we went, okay, now we've heard this way too much. And now all your songs, they're coming out on consecutive albums. They sound exactly the same as the ones on the first one.
Nope, Nickelback and Rascal Flatts. That's
Although
two bands that I never got it, and I never will get it.
Although they've got a new one, too. Nickelback's got a new song out that's not bad.
Is it Chad Kroeger just banging two pots together? Because that's what I hear every time I hear Nickelback.
I think we flash back to the overrated bands bracket here.
It's because we get angry about things like this.
This is true. As the world changes, it's harder and harder to make sense of where this world is at.
That's the reason I go hide in my house and have domestic lights.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And Jeremy, you did say something very astute. I think this is going to be a great weekend. I do. I mean, the Masters obviously is a huge thing. We're going to enjoy it. Hopefully, we will get to see some golf tomorrow. It doesn't get completely washed out. You got UFC coming up tomorrow night. Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, the rematch.
I just realized I buried the lead on my story.
What did you do?
I didn't. So there was a below the fold, and I did that millennial thing where it lost my attention, so I didn't read that.
Oh, do tell.
Eating out of a communal bowl in Japan is punishable with 3 years in prison.
Holy cow.
I did not see that part until just now.
Wow.
And a $3,800 fine.
Well, I mean, you do see a lot of, from time to time in the annals of history, we have seen where illness runs rampant in those heavily populated countries, Japan, China, and such. So I guess it makes sense. I guess we don't ever think about it here because the only time it really made it was relevant to us was 3 years ago, to where we had to start living the life of staying away from each other and wearing masks and all that. They've been through that before.
You do 3 years in prison for ginger,
for eating out of a bowl.
Ginger's gross.
It seems very strange. Yeah, I hate that stuff.
It's gross.
No chance. But not only do you have UFC coming up tomorrow night, you also have the Bristol dirt race on Sunday. If you're going to that, hope the weather holds out for you. It's going to be fun. I love the dirt race. I think it's a great addition to NASCAR, and that is this weekend as well. Plus, it's Easter weekend. I got my boy's birthday party coming up tomorrow. This is all just manner of things going on. When we come back for the break here in the Sportsocracy, we'll close out the show for this Friday as we will talk about our last team with, not the last team, but our last team for today in the draft needs for the upcoming 2023 NFL Draft. It's the New Orleans Saints.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 26 eastbound east of Hendersonville Road to Chimney Rock Road near Saluda. 26 westbound near the Gorge Zip Line approaching the US 25 connector. Traffic is stop and go. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 18 minutes. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, and we are live in the Ingles Studio here on a Friday, just counting down the days to the NFL Draft. And I feel like if we don't mention this, I think Adam Black might have an infarction. He's excited because he got his tickets today for UFC Fight Night in Charlotte. Did you know this was coming?
I did.
May the 13th. They'll have a fight night. It's going to be all heavyweight action in the big bouts. Rosenstruck, I don't know how to say his first name, but Rosenstruck is the headliner of all of this, and it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. It'll be aired on ESPN and ABC. The prelims start at 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m., and the main card starts at 3. Normally, this is reserved for when they're overseas. I don't understand why they're doing it matinee style in Charlotte. But maybe that
beats me.
Maybe that tells you where Charlotte ranks on the scale. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the final of the week, the team draft needs for 2023. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints. It's the biggest need that this team has. They got Derek Carr now as their quarterback. What do you put around him?
Well, for me, the biggest need is somebody to play on the interior and another edge guy. And there is no doubt in my mind that pick late in the first round is going to be the best defensive line that falls to you. I've had it as Kalijah Cansey. I've had it as Brian Breeze. Whichever one it is, I know that you added 2 in free agency. I don't care. One of them played for the Jets, and I'm not sure they didn't both play for the Jets at one time. And neither one of them's all that good. Nathan Shepard, Kalen Sanders. That's just not enough. Because I'm looking at the defense going, safeties, I like Marcus May, I like Tyrann Mathieu. Didn't always look wonderful last year, but I think that's because your corner play was so bad. And that's another need for me. Is I feel like you need another corner, even though you've got 7 of them on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Marshawn Lattimore, I'm not sure any of them are any good.
You don't like Paulson Adebo?
I like him in the slot. I hate him playing on the outside. He's one of the worst corners in the league last year. And so I know that a lot of Saints fans feel like they need a receiver, and I would agree. But I can't say it's one of the prevailing needs. They have one of the deepest offensive lines in the league. Again, not sure how many of them are great.
Well, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of Michael Thomas.
That's the biggest thing. That's why wide receivers as high as it is. If he comes back and plays the way I've seen him play, then it's not a top 2-3 need. If he's hurt again, then it's probably your biggest need.
Right.
Because you need somebody outside of Chris Olave. Now, the question is, do you go full Lucy with the football again and get duped by this and have to chase a Jarvis Landry or whoever the case may be? I would wager they're probably going to add a receiver with one of those first 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you're going to miss a run at 30. You're either not quite to that second-tier receiver at 41, which makes me think it's probably at 72, unless one just falls right in your lap. And I'm going to go get somebody that can rush the passer on the interior because I signed 2 guys that are both, I think, good against the run, not great, and neither one provides anything as a pass rusher. So if you're wanting Peyton Turner and Cameron Jordan to be what you expect them to be, you're going to have somebody that can pressure up the middle.
So they got a pick at the back end of the first round. Perfect scenario for that pick is
Kalijah
Kancey.
I'm not sure he's going to be there, but every time I push him up the board and he starts to get into the high 20s, low teens, I start getting text. No. Come back. I could also see a path that you go Keanu Benton at 41, and if one of those receivers falls, that you take them at 30. Because this is a weird year to need a receiver, because you're either going to take them in the first round. I think one falls to early in day 2, or you just wait and wait and wait. There could be a full round in between receivers. Like, I know that sounds insane to say.
It does.
There are about 15 guys that grade out similarly. Just what are you after, scheme fit, do you fall in love with a guy? And so for New Orleans, they're another one of those teams that you're in kind of a weird position. I'm actually going to change my answer here on the fly. Best case scenario, one of those receivers, whether it's Zay Flowers, I don't think it's going to be him, Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, one of those guys falls in your lap, and then you can take Keanu Benton at 41. That's probably my best case scenario.
Okay. Where else would you add to this team?
I hate to say this because I love the guy. It's tight end. I mean, Adam Troutman's been fine. Juwan Johnson's been fine. I wish I could combine them into one player because they're both like half of an NFL tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just really gets into the depth on the
But
on
what
the
about
interior.
Taysom Hill? I love that dead look he gets in his eyes when you mention Taysom Hill.
You mean the living embodiment of what Anthony Richardson's going to be in the NFL about 3 years from now? Yeah. Oh, look, he's real fast. Okay. He can't throw. So he can when there's nobody there because you think he's going to run.
Mm-hmm. So they should be in the market for a Sam Laporta or somebody like that.
Sam Laporta's not going to be there. Laporta will go at the back end of the first round, beginning of the second. I'm dead set there will be 2 in the first round. That would be.
No, that's why I said at the back end of the first round when they have that pick at 29, if all the receivers are gone, maybe you go tight end.
I don't think I'm going to invest that capital there. I mean, because I can survive with Troutman and Juwan Johnson. That's more of a day 3 need for me.
Okay.
I need to come away from one of those first, at least one, maybe both, of those first 2 picks, the one at 30 and the one at 41, or 31 and 42, depending on which email you got from the NFL. I need to come away from that with at least one defensive lineman.
They just added Jamal Williams as a backup to Alvin Kamara, but should they not be on the lookout for running back of the future? Not necessarily high draft capital, but I mean, in those later rounds, 4th, 5th round, somewhere in there, you find a guy that might turn into something.
I mean, could you take one? Sure. That would tell me more that you're afraid that Alvin Kamara may not be around for X number of games this year,
chance.
Which is certainly a possibility. And now, if that's the case, then yeah, I need somebody that can catch, because Jamal Williams is not super well known for that. I'm not saying he can't do it. It just he's been in a lot of places he wasn't asked to.
Mm-hmm.
You play with Aaron Jones, you're probably not going to be asked to do that very often, and DeAndre Swift. So I think that would be a day 3 need as well. I want to come away from the first 2 rounds with at least one defensive lineman, a wide receiver, and a corner would probably be my next one.
All right, those are your draft needs for the New Orleans Saints. We will cover each and every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft live on the YouTube stream. If you're not connected with us yet, go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, hit the subscribe button. You can also join the House of Reprehensibles. I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the sportsing, and we will be back with you on Monday.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Today, the weather pattern started to change with the rain taking over the forecast, the cooler temperatures sliding in, and northeast winds take over for tonight and Saturday with more rain and cooler temperatures in the forecast. 40 degrees for tonight, some 1-inch rains in some locations, half-inch rain Saturday, high of 45, low 37, sunshine Sunday, and 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
In the Saluda area, 26 westbound crawling between Ozone Drive and approaching US 25 connector near the Gorge Zip Line. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic is busy but moving well. Hendersonville Road, no problems. Sweeten Creek Road, no delays. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm